Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about just what everybody's been doing for the last week since convention. Is it 1 week? Is it about 1 week, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we got home on Saturday.
Okay. I lost track. But I know there's been a lot of people sharing some excitement with me in terms of Facebook posting and starting conversations and the start of this boot camp on Saturday. So I just thought maybe we could, just sort of share a few things that's been going on. I know Kat had some stuff going on, and Claire and Nora. So love to just hear if anyone wants to go ahead and share, and we can chat.
Okay, I'll start. Today I was telling Janet that I thought it was very nice. I was excited because I got to meet everybody instead of just looking at everybody's faces during these Zoom meetings, to personally meet everybody and share whatever. And I thought that was great. It made it more, not only more interesting, but more on the personal level. So it was nice.
Yeah, and I love, I love that. I love meeting everybody in person, but also over the years, as you meet people at meetings and at convention, even people not from our team, and then you see them again year after year. For me, it was so exciting because so many of the people accepting awards as integrated presidentials are people that I've known for years. And what I want to say is they're not special. And we've talked about this already. They've been, Claire and I were talking today, and sometimes as a new coach, you're listening to your sponsor coach and you're like, oh, you say it so well. I wish I could say it that way. And, we all kind of feel that way in the beginning, and it's just a matter of practice and time. And, the more trainings that you hear and the more health assessments that you do and the more times you hear your coach doing it, you're getting better and better without realizing it. When you bring on a coach, they're going to say to you, wow, I wish I could say it like you could say it. So, no, nobody here is special. It's just some people have been doing it longer. And so, I think that we just have to kind of keep doing it and keep listening and keep absorbing. And we're all learning, and we're all getting better and better.
No, I love just getting together with our Optavia family. When we're together in convention, it's great. And it makes it so that you feel you're not doing this alone. You have the support of a team. And, talking to each and every one of you, I mean, I get the benefit of Janet, coaching me regularly, but just be able to pick, Karen's brains, Jane, Nora, talk to Alberto about some of the ways that they found that could help me get over my personal obstacles, and talking to people about Optavia, because I did have a hang up last year. I felt like I was getting something out of it, and that really made it hard. Like I was, asking them for a favor as opposed to the other way around, which is giving them a gift. And so, I think hearing it, different people's, the way they approach, potential clients, it really helped me sort of merge it into my own personal style, which is really important, because I think being an authentic self, because all my friends know who I am, so I have to do it the way that they can still recognize, so that it carries with it my credibility as a person. So it was great. And Jana, your idea of just do 3, 3, and 3, and people will come to you, like that was so true. I had 2 people now inquiring. And I've just been doing it consistently every day, 3 posts, right? Could be about hiking, could be about what I'm eating for dinner, could be, the challenge that Karen posted, or something that I really like Nora's thing about what is it that I do as a health coach. So I copy that. So just doing that consistently, people started seeing that. And I already had 2 people that I never thought would ask me about, ask me. So I got a couple of health assessments, and every health assessment I do makes me feel more confident, like that, okay, this is good. And I'm talking about family, everything's still, it's not unlike me, it is me. It's just, me with an additional tool to help people get better. Mm-hmm. So that's just, I'm so grateful that I got to see everybody and really get the support of all of your wisdoms.
Great. And the consistency is key, Kat. You're seeing it pay off in just a few days. And Nora, you had a couple of things to share about that. Thanks, Kat. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was, I've been coaching for 4 years, and this was my 5th convention. And you go every year, and the things that you hear are the same things, but you're in a different place. And, you know, Optavia is growing and expanding. So yes, it's presented in a different way, or it's decorated in a different way, but the philosophies that they all tell us on every single boot camp, at every single convention, is the same. And I've been resistant to a couple of things. One of them is sitting down list. Well, let me refresh that. I'm not resistant to writing the list, because I've written the list a few times, actually. Every time I come home from a convention, because I hear this, I write the list, but then I never follow up and do anything with the list, or I might do it for a few days and I fall apart, you know, and just don't continue on. So, you know, I'm talking with Karen and Janet and a few people. I realize, like, what in the heck is my drawback in doing that? And I need to really figure out what it is I'm doing and what are the missing links, and go 100% all in. So yes, the 3x3x3 is a great avenue to do that. And I think energetically, just mentally putting your focus and your energy into something creates a whirlwind effect. So I decided this last week that I was doing a hundreds list, and I was going to really commit to making 3 new connections and following up with conversations and doing that nonstop. And on Friday, I did a live, and I haven't done a live video in a long time. And I did a live that I was really passionate about. It was something that was close to my family, and I worked through something. And the amount of feedback that I got on that was amazing. And I had some person that I'm friends with on Facebook that I don't know share it to her feed. And all of a sudden, for now, since Friday, I'm getting 5 to 10 friend requests of people requesting my friendship off of that feed, that live feed. So I don't know what the heck is happening. And of course, a lot of them are entrepreneurs trying to sell their multi-level marketing business, but that's okay, because over the last year, as I've placed this effort in doing this, some of those people have become my clients. So I am engaging in.
Nora, I think you got cut off. Is it my connection or Nora's connection?
No, it's Nora.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Nora, we can't hear you. We lost the last few minutes.
Can you hear me? No?
Now we
hear?
can.
Yeah,
Can you hear?
we can hear you now. We lost the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh, you driving through the valley?
Did you hear me talk about the live?
Yeah, you started talking about your live stream, and you got a lot of friend requests all of a sudden.
Well, been driving for 2.5 hours. And a stranger that I'm friends with shared it to her page.
We heard that part.
Okay, so I get all these connections, and then I'm gonna pull over here. And then in the last year, I've had a couple clients come from these strange relationships that I've had on Facebook. So you never know who's out there and who could be that next. Hear me or no? Yeah.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
In slow
Okay.
motion, but we can hear you.
I wanted to hear
you never know
what that live was that she talked about. Did anyone see the live she's talking about?
No, I didn't even see you did. I didn't know you did it live. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
So it was about my son doing iron guards and his
Oh.
process
Yeah.
and making
Yes.
having grit in that process. And
Mhm.
so it was powerful to me, and it was something that made an impact on my life and my son's life. But the feedback that I'm getting from that is pretty incredible, that it makes me want to go make sure I do a live every week. That's not just giving a health tip, but really speaking from the heart. So karmically, I don't know, but I had 2 health assessments today, and I've had like I'm telling you, 20 friend requests on Facebook
Wow.
from people I don't know. So now I have 3 different lists. I did write my 100th list of people that I'm going to contact 3 of those people and just start a conversation. Those are people in my life that I know. Now I have a separate list of all of these people that are friend requesting me that I don't know, and people that I'm going to friend request, and I'm going to start those conversations with those people. And then I have another list of people that, like today, 2 people alone contacted me and say from my Facebook, they can tell that I'm doing amazing, that they would like to talk to me about my program. So
Great.
number one, I want to say to people is like, commit to being consistent, commit to talking authentically. You know, I definitely always tell my team, like, post a recipe, post a transformational photo, post motivational quotes. But if we're only posting those 3 things and we're not putting our heart and soul into it and posting our lives and our families and our dogs and whatever, that people are going to think we're selling something, and they're not going to come up with who we really are. So people have connected to me, and that's made a world of a difference in the last week.
Right.
Hopefully you heard all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got it. Thank you so much for the
Tell,
chat.
tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And I think that's so true. And I think you said something else, Nora, to take the time to go to your own Facebook feed and glance through it as if you were a new person just being friends with you for the first time, and make sure that, you know, you don't have to go too far back to see that you can help people, because a new person is going to go to your feed, but they're not going to go back, you know, 3 months. So make sure you're doing all of the things you mentioned, as well as, you know, showing a little bit about your life so that people can connect to you and can feel, you know, comfortable reaching out to you.
That's actually a funny point, because I caught myself on 3 occasions going back to a Facebook post I already posted to edit it to add the last bit. If you or yourself knows, or your friends could use the help or want to know more about the program, please reach out. Like, I always tell the story and I stop where, you know, I can help that. So I had to go back and edit it on 3 different occasions because of what you said a while ago about that. So.
And you can always throw the word virtual in there too, so that people know that they, because I used to have people comment low, oh, I wish I lived near you. And you know, so you want to make sure they know that this is virtual.
Huh, okay.
But Kat, if every single post says, I can help, call me, it sounds like you're selling something, right?
That's true.
So throw that out there occasionally. I would not put that on every single post.
Okay, I'll go back and look to see if it comes across that way. That's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, Tiffany Howard is the one where I got that from, where just go back a month and see what your impression was.
Yeah, okay.
And, you know, Facebook Lives are great. But if that's all you do and you don't do anything else, people may not take the time to stop and really look or listen. But all I can say is work a list, write down names and work the list, because that is my energetic shift, and everything else is going around that.
I see. Okay. Maybe I'll upgrade myself doing occasional Zoom when I feel less self-conscious. I'll just work up the courage to doing that.
Yeah,
you don't need the perfect hair, the perfect makeup, the perfect outfit, the perfect words. You just need to do.
Yeah.
And you know, just from someone who has been around for a long time, and some of you have been around a while, to be able to do this, I started going back to my files of people who I had conversations with but weren't interested, and started sending out some emails. And one of them was to a dietitian I had met at a meeting a few years ago. And luckily I had notes, because I always keep notes when I talk to someone. And I said, you know, just reaching out. I know at the time where we met, you were doing X, Y, and Z, you know, wondering how that's going, yada, yada. And she wrote back and said, you know what? I think this is a really a time I'd like to revisit this. I'd like to look at it again because X, Y, and Z. So, you know, when you don't reach out, you never know when you're going to hit them at the time when maybe things are right. So whether that's, you know, potential clients that you've spoken to, when you do a health assessment, take the notes and put those not yets in your file, so that at a time where your business is kind of in a lull, because sometimes we go like this, right? You're really busy, you're starting all these people, and then you have a lull. It's like, uh-oh, now what? that's a great time to go back to that folder and, say something personal. It could be a phone call. It could be, oh, we spoke, 2 months ago and you said you were going to try Weight Watchers, just check in to see how you're doing. Hope things are going well. Or, we spoke a month ago and one thing you were going to work on was getting in 64 ounces of water, wondering how that's doing. So when you do a health assessment and somebody doesn't say yes, let them walk away with some tips from you based on the health assessment. So if they talk about nighttime eating and that's an issue and you have your health assessment and they're not ready to come on board, you could say, okay, well, how about, maybe just work on that one thing for now. Maybe just work on that one not eating after dinner. Give them something to walk away with, because then when you come back to check in on them, you have something to ask them about. And now you can also send them to the Habits of Health site. I think that's another good follow-up if somebody's not ready to come on board, right?
Yeah, and I'll just say one thing about staying in touch, Janet, which is, piggybacking on what you just said, that, I've talked to people. One thing, don't assume that they remember what you talked about. I talked to someone today who I did, I think a good health assessment about a year ago. And I guess he kind of just filed it under not for me right now. And he clearly really doesn't remember anything about the program, but I've stayed in touch. And actually he started a group he's trying to help other people build their businesses. He has his own business that's similar to Send Out Cards. And but anyway, he really appreciates what I'm doing in his group and supporting that. And so today he's like, I want to talk to you again. Basically, he just is responding to the stuff that I'm putting out there, the value that I'm bringing. So to his group, and then also he follows me in my personal feed. So, keeping in touch and really forming those relationships. And I have never met this person in person. He's someone I've connected with through other people that we both know. So, it's possible to build these relationships.
And that's what you're doing. And you're not trying to get something from him. You're just building relationship. So one other thing that happened to me, and I think it's since convention, I can't even remember the dates, but there was somebody who posted on Facebook and was asking about who people use for business cards because she wanted to start a business. And so I reached out privately and I said, I've used Vistaprint. And I said, what kind of business are you starting? And she told me it was something kind of interesting. And I said, wow, I would love to hear more about that. I'd love to, would you want to meet for a cup of coffee? I'd love to hear more about it and maybe give you, just brainstorm with you. And she was like, wow, okay, that'd be awesome. And I knew her from Orange Theory, so it wasn't like a complete stranger. So we made up to meet after Orange Theory, and we sat, and she told me her business idea, and she's a music therapist working with the elderly, and I was really just learning about what she wanted to do and giving input, and she was so thrilled, just to have somebody, helping her to brainstorm about it. And we really didn't talk about my business at all, but we've been staying in contact since then. And she does have an anti-inflammatory condition. An inflammatory condition. So, again, it wasn't the first thing, but today I said something about how it's possible that things like lupus, with inflammation can maybe be decreased through our program, and maybe she'd want to, just hear a little. She goes, oh, I would love to hear about that. I'm always looking for something to help me. So, the point is it started out with me giving to her and really with no agenda other than building that relationship. And so when I did bring up something today, it wasn't weird or anything. She was, she was happy because here I was almost giving another gift. And so I'm working on building relationship with people for not for reason of telling them about program or asking them about coaching, but just finding out more about them.
I want to share something real quick. One of my biggest takeaways from convention was really just connecting and listening more. And I always did a good job of asking questions, but I feel like now I'm really just listening, no agenda, just listening. And we're down by my parents' house in LBI, and my dad just told me a story. Megyn Kelly from Fox News. So she was in a store over here, and one of the neighbors ran into her and went over to her and said, oh my God, are you Megyn Kelly? And she said, I am. And they said, oh my, what are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm vacationing. And she said, but tell me about you. And the
She asked
neighbor,
her name.
yeah, she goes, what's your name? And the neighbor said the name, and she goes, and do you live around here? And she answered, and she said, yeah. And then she said, what's it like to live, here all year round? And the neighbor, like, came home, was telling my parents because she couldn't believe that this woman was actually, like,
Gave a shit.
interested in her. And I said, God, like, it was just interested, not interesting. Like, that's how you build relationships with people. So it's just very funny how much it impacted this woman to have someone actually ask her about her.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, when you do it, you can see how happy somebody is because they're not used to being asked about them. It's just so true. And it's really fun to do. Good. Anybody else? Debbie, you're quiet over there.
I got 2 people on plan right when I got home, and even though I was skeptical about adding coaches, I've actually put that carrot out there. So I put it out for 2 people. 1 declined, but that's okay. So it's the motivation from being at my first convention is gradually just revealing more and more to me, which is really, really important, especially when I remind clients that are considering coming on plan, like, you're at a great time because this whole program has completely been revised and can be completely transformative. So that is, and there have been a couple of no's. I'm not ready yet, or right now financially I can't swing it. Come back to this, can you still help me in other ways, and kind of what other people have been talking about. So revisiting it along the way, you've already planted the seed. So, that's a good thing.
Great. And is everybody working on their life book? Has everybody started that?
No,
So,
not mine.
okay. So Wednesday night from now, I guess it's from now till I don't know how long, the Habits of Health calls are going to actually be going through the elements. So that should be helpful for us. And, of course, tell your clients as you speak to them about the system. And of course, new clients, we can start right away. So that'll be a little easier than maybe sometimes converting some other ones. But I think if we're using the system ourselves, we can speak to it much better than if we weren't using it, because we can share with them what we're getting out of it. And I've been telling clients, look, even though I'm 8 years in, I'm now digging into this book and I'm having aha moments, and I'm revamping my own my own journey, because it's always in motion.
So I have a question, which I was confused listening tonight. Should you read the life book first and then do the Habits of Health, or do they coincide with one another? I got lost there.
So start with the life book, and then there are times in the life book where it would say like chapter whatever, and then you can go read the chapter.
Okay.
That was the exact question I asked in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's 9:30, so unless anyone else has anything else, let's keep the momentum going. I think it's been great to see, and we will see each other next week.
Okay.
Have a good night,
Good
guys.
night. Good night.